Hello everyone, it is a beautiful, bloody day today, I say as I walk through shadow. So in today's episode, I'm going to be covering my visa application, because I'm currently walking into the city for my in-person portion of my UK visa application. I'm going to finish this one on a hill. My train leaves in about 7 minutes, so I've got a little bit of time, and in this backpack is like a crap ton of documents. I've got a passport, a printed out application, some confirmation emails, receipts for all the payments I've done. So I've just paid 900 Australian dollars to apply for the visa, and if they don't give it to me, then I only get 300 of it back or something like that. So it's about £200 just for processing, and then it's £300 or £400, I can't remember which, just to cover the NHS fees, which is sort of a hit and miss because you have to pay all this money, but then you get really good health insurance, is my understanding of it. NHS is the national health scheme that everyone in the UK has, and it's pretty much like free healthcare, I think. Please don't, don't quote me on anything I say in this video. I'm just talking about my understanding of everything. Do not go and apply for a visa using my information only. Do all your reading. Okay, made it. Oh, I'm all shaky. So essentially applying for a visa is one big mess around. Sorry about the wind. There's like 4 different websites you have to go through, and each one of them seems to explain what you have to do in a slightly different way. Like there's one that you pay on, and then there's the one that's sort of like the companion site, which they give you a link to at the end. Like they give you here's a site that describes the whole process to you. Oh, train. So I'm in the city, but I've still got about 10 minutes left before my appointment. So I'm just sort of like bumming around. I've sussed out exactly where it is, I know where to go. So the website has a lot of really confusing information on it, and everything seems to contradict itself, and then you finally get to...
You're really stunning.
Thanks.
Who are you talking to?
Lovely people. Yeah, the website has like 4 different bits of information, and they all seem to vary depending on which website you read. Like one of them talks about bring your application pack along, but then when I was trying to figure out what an application pack was, it didn't actually give me any information about it. Like, make sure you bring an application pack, but then they've never mentioned the application pack before. There was like an FAQ page that had some random information about something else that just happened to mention the application pack and then told you what was in the application pack, which was on a different page what the original application pack was mentioned on. So it's just one big mess. I'm probably just gonna head up now. Well, that whole process took about 5 minutes after spending literally days getting all the appropriate paperwork and filling everything out online and reading up on it. 5 minutes. Anyways, now I'm about to go grab a Melbourne coffee. I'm gonna miss them so much. I'll talk to you soon. I'm gonna miss Melbourne coffee so much, but I paid $6 for this, so I'm not gonna miss that. Holy hell, it's warm. God, Melbourne's weird. So I've got 10 minutes before my train transfer, so I guess I'll just fill you in on what that was all about. So I took the elevator up to the tippity top floor. There was a door with like a doorbell, so I had to ring the doorbell, and the security guard came out. And he was like, you're not allowed to bring anything in with you, you can't bring your backpack, you have to take your, he said beanie, but you can take your wallet in and your phone on silent. And of course, all of your application forms, your passport and stuff. So he gave me a locker with a key, so I got to put all the non-essential into the locker and lock it up. And then he like did one of those scan things on me, like not frisked me, but electronically frisked me. Very serious stuff. I don't know. So yeah, then the lady literally was like, give me your passport, give me your application form, okay, cool. You can have it back in 15 days. I'm like, okay, great. She's like, just come back and get it then. We'll email you when it's ready. It'll take 15 days. And she's like, go sit down again, and someone will call you in a minute to get so you can submit your biometrics, which is essentially your fingerprints, and they take a photo of you. So, great. So I sat down, and immediately this guy came out and was like, come on to the next room, Alex. I'm like, all right. He's like, put your fingers on this thing, scan my fingerprints, put your thumbs on it, great. And give me your application thingy. All right, great. Just sign here, face the camera, and you're done. So after literally probably days of reading up on everything they had to do, all the paperwork I had to fill out, I had all these things just in case, because some website said I had to bring all my receipts, I had to print out a self-assessment and fill that all out and do an online test. And after doing all that, I actually didn't need any of it. I just needed my passport and my bank statement saying that I had at least £1,900. So it was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be, actually. The only requirements are that you have to be between 18 and 31 from a particular list of countries. There's about 8 of them. So it's Australia, obviously, New Zealand, Canada, Japan, I think it's Canada, and a couple of other places. But again, don't quote me on this, look it up yourself. You have to have at least £1,900 in savings. So you have to have a letter or bank statement from your bank, and it has to be certified. What was the third thing? That was it. You have to be between those ages, have one of the passports from one of those countries. So your passport is proof of your nationality and your age, obviously, and then you have to have a bank statement. So literally she only asked for those things, and I gave my fingerprints and my photo, and that was it. Very easy. Walking home now. So in summary, if you're going to apply for a UK visa or any type of visa, I recommend doing a lot of reading up on it first, because that, for me, it was very confusing. The website was a hot mess, and in fact it wasn't just one website, it was 3 websites, and none of them seemed to correlate properly. They all seem to explain everything slightly differently, so just make sure you do that. Yeah, it takes a really long time to sort out what they actually want. So I went for a youth mobility visa, and that's what I was mentioning before with the requirements of being between 18 and 31, having a certain amount of savings, blah, blah, blah. And it lasts for 2 years. It's not a guaranteed one though. Like, just because you fulfill the requirements doesn't mean you necessarily get it, but I think there's a very good chance. Even if you're only going to be gone for like 6 months, like, you still apply for the whole visa, which is the other thing too. Even if you say, like, I'm definitely going to be in the UK for a year, you have to pay for the entire 2 years worth of visa health scheme fee. That makes sense. Similarly, you can't use half of the visa now and half later. Like, if you wanted to go overseas for a year now and you wanted to do another year later on, you can't. You have to do 2 years in one go, because you can only get the visa once. So yeah, you have to decide when you want to use it. But I mean, you know, no point in holding out being like, I'll use it later, because you can only use it till you're 30. Then you're ineligible because you're too old. You do need to fill out a lot of forms and information online before you actually go to the interview though. And like, for example, you need to put in, the questions just get more and more annoying. Like, the first question that really annoyed me was like, what were your travel dates? Have you been to the UK before? What were your travel dates? And I was like, shit, it was like 4 years ago, I don't remember. So I had to go look it up. Luckily it was in my passport, because they don't always stamp your passport, particularly if you're coming from one country in Europe to like another one. Like, if I was just like took the train from Germany or whatever, they may not actually stamp my passport when I get there. And then it was asking me like where I'm going to be staying in England. And I was like, well, I don't really know yet, because like for my permanent address, I'm going to apply for places when I get there. And ask for my UK number, and I don't have a UK number. I'm not going to do that from here months in advance. But you can only apply for this visa within 3 months of you leaving as well. But you can't apply when you're already in the country. So it's like, I don't know these details. Luckily my brother lives there, so I'll be staying with him until I get a different place, so I just had to put that address down. But for people who don't have a family member living there or someone they're going to stay with, it's really fucking confusing. Then it just got even more annoying, because it said, have you ever been to any country that's not your own country or the UK in the last 10 years? And then asked you to list all of them, including the dates that you went. In summary, the application is extremely irritating and doesn't seem to make a lot of sense sometimes. So make sure that you give yourself a lot of time to do it, because if I was doing this a week before I left, I'd be stressing tits. Plus, I wouldn't have time to pick up my actual passport before I travel. So, keep that in mind. Anyway, it's really fucking hot and I want to go home. So there'll be lots of things to come in this series. Fuck off, wind. Yeah, so it's been about 3 weeks since I began this video, since the start of this video that you've just seen. And they said sort of my visa will be ready within 15 days or something like that. And it's been longer. All I know for sure is it's been a lot longer than the allocated time, because, what am I trying to say here? Essentially, I got an email from them probably 10 days ago or more saying that my visa was ready to be picked up. And I didn't see it, which was awkward. And then apparently they called me, I missed that, didn't even see that I had a missed message. Then when they called me again, I checked my voicemails and they're like, Alex, this is the second time we've called you. We have your passport here. Are you gonna come pick it up? It's been here for like 2 weeks. So I'm like, oh, well, shit. So if you're going to go through this process, I would have it posted out to you, because it's probably just a lot easier. You never know how busy you're gonna get pre-trip. I'm going into dark now, so apologies for the lighting. All right, I'm about to park. Then I'm gonna jump on the train. So I'll catch you guys soon. Passport required, acquired. Passport acquired. Yes, good. Only took 2 tries. So that didn't take that long. Literally, when you're picking up your visa, you just sort of go in and they check your ID. You have to bring your receipt for the initial consultation thing where you first applied. And yeah, which is funny because I only just kind of picked it up last minute. So I guess my closing message is, make sure you give it a lot of time. Because I read a website and it was pretty much like, oh, you know, it's cool, like, you just need to apply no earlier than 3 months before you leave, but it's easier to apply once you're already there. Then when I went back and read the official website some more, or one of the 3 fucking official websites, because everything's such a bloody mess, it was like, you have to apply before you leave the country. So anyway, it's apparently a lot easier if you do anyway, because like you need these supporting documents and stuff, which you probably don't have while you're traveling. So good. It's good to know I've got that. I can check that off my list. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please do keep in contact, up to date with future videos by clicking on that old subscribe button and turning on notifications. See you in my next travel video, my packing one probably.